What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Monday morning's Anfield Agenda News Roundup. I hope that you've all gotten over a defeat yesterday to Plymouth Argyle in what was, let's be honest, a very disappointing display. But if there is some positivity to take from it, I'm going to hope to bring it to you over the next few minutes. We've got a little stat that might help you get over the defeat, or maybe it won't, I don't know. But either way, once you've watched this video, you know the score. I want to know your thoughts, so let me know in the comment section. Drop a like if you do enjoy the video, and of course we'd love you to hit that subscribe button. A little glance to the top corner will show you that we are just over 1,000, or just under, 1,900 subscribers away from getting to 300,000, and every single one of you that helps us out by hitting that subscribe button really does make a big difference to us, and we appreciate you. So if you haven't done it, you know what to do. Over the course of this video, I'm going to give you the latest with Liverpool's view to the summer transfer window. We're going to talk a little bit about the contract situation, but mostly I'm going to be asking you for your help about some players whose name I'm going to bring up, but I don't know all that much about. I know that there are people out there who watch a lot more of European football than I do, so I'm hoping that you can help me fill in some of the gaps over the next few minutes. We're going to start off, though, with something that I think a lot of us may have wondered about from time to time. The viewership. Obviously, last night was the Super Bowl, and it kind of got me thinking, what does that do numbers-wise compared to, let's say, the Champions League final? Is it close, or is one way bigger than the other? I would have expected one to be, and it is. So here's a little bit of a stat for you. The Champions League final in recent years has gotten around 300 to 400 million views worldwide, which is a huge number if you think about it. The Super Bowl, what do you think? I'll give you a second to have a little guess at this one. Do you think the Super Bowl is going to be higher than 400 million views, or do you think it's going to be lower? It's lower. It's substantially lower. And if there was any doubt about what the real football is, it's our football, what you guys in the States would call soccer. The Super Bowl averages about 100 to 115 million views, mainly from the United States of America. Although, look, the game is growing around the world. There's no surer thing than that. Sure, I'm a new convert in the last 3 years myself to the NFL, but that is a big gap to make up there, and there is no doubt about what the biggest sport in the world is, and it is our version of football. So there you go, 3 to 400 million versus 100 to 115 million. Now, I did mention at the start of this video that I might have a little bit of good news for you with regards to maybe taking a positive from getting knocked out of the FA Cup. The last time we got knocked out of the FA Cup without scoring a goal, we went on to win the Premier League. Credit at Anfield Road 96 on X for that one, but there you go. The last time the Reds got knocked out of the FA Cup without scoring a goal, we went on to win the Premier League. So if there's any positives to be taken from it, there you go. We could just well go and win the Premier League. And I tell you what, I'll have gotten over the FA Cup defeat if it means we end up winning the Prem. Now, let's get into some transfer talk. So, there's been a couple of people suggesting that Trent might look to wait to see how we get on this season and what we may win before convincing himself one way or the other about what might happen over his contract. I don't think as a club we could allow that to happen, because that would basically mean he gets to make that decision at the end of the season where the club have, well, not much time to figure it out. So, I can't imagine we let it drag out that long. And I also don't really believe that Trent's trying to pitch that to the club either, but it was reported, so I wanted to bring it up to you. Now, one name who I need your help with is Eintracht Frankfurt midfielder Hugo Larsson. Caught Offside have suggested that Arsenal, Liverpool and Manchester United are all pursuing a move to sign the 20-year-old. And I know absolutely nothing about him. But if these clubs are being linked with you, you must have something about you. 20 years of age, obviously still a young developing player, but I want to know, what type of midfielder is he? Is he good enough to come to Liverpool? Have you watched much of him at Eintracht Frankfurt or in the Bundesliga? Yeah, and let me know. I'm not seeing any mention here of a potential figure for his services, but at 20 years of age, couldn't be that experienced. So I wouldn't imagine it's going to be an outrageous fee, but let me know your thoughts in again. So once again, Arsenal, Liverpool and Manchester United all pursuing a move to sign 20-year-old Eintracht Frankfurt midfielder Hugo Larsson, and that comes from Caught Offside. People often love to have a little dig at me about these stories. I don't write them, I just bring them to you and then we discuss them. So to credit the authors, it's Caught Offside is where that story comes from. Staying with Caught Offside, the next one is a name that I'm a little bit more familiar with, one that Arne Slot will certainly be familiar with, and one that I'm sure you guys know all about as well. So this piece here from Caught Offside said that Liverpool are understood to be closely monitoring Feyenoord defender David Hancko as a potential transfer target for the summer. Now, over to you. Is he good enough? What would the fee be like? And have you watched much of him? Because going from the Eredivisie to the Premier League, it is a huge, huge jump. Some have done it seamlessly, like Luis Suarez. Others, well, they've struggled massively coming in. And I don't know much about this guy other than he's been spoken about and linked to Liverpool for a few windows. I've never really known if that interest is serious or not. I don't know if this is lazy journalism, perhaps linking somebody who's been linked in the past, trying to get column inches. But I want to know your thoughts on it. So, Hancko, would you take him at Liverpool? What would you expect the price to be? And if we had to move on a centre-back between Gomez and Kwanzaa, who do you think is most likely to move on? Obviously, we've seen Joe come on yesterday in the FA Cup. Didn't last too long. Started the game as captain. Unfortunately, had to go off. And Kwanzaa, well, I'm not convinced by him yet. But I am open to the fact that he still has some development left to do. I just think we need at least 4 sturdy centre-backs if we want to compete across all competitions. So, David Hancko, yes or no? Let me know in the comments. And again, what price do you think will be a fair one? We've also spoke a lot about goalkeepers and not knowing what to expect next season. So we know Alisson Becker is more than likely going to stay at the club. We know Georgi Mamardashvili is coming in from Valencia in the summer unless something drastic changes there and he gets loaned out for another year. But we also know that Kelleher is going to move on. And the reason I think we're so confident about this is his contract situation shows that he's got 1 year to go at the end of this season. Liverpool are going to want to get some money from Kelleher. So he won't agree to a contract extension because he knows he's not going to be the number one. And I don't blame him. He should be going out and search for first team football at this stage of his career because I think he's earned it. From Liverpool's perspective, we have to cash in now or we face the prospect of bringing in no money from him. And even now selling him, you're not going to get his full value because he only has 1 year left to go. But there have been 5 clubs mentioned as being interested in him and I'd like to add a 6th. So I'll start off with my one, which was Leeds United. We know that they'd been credited if they get promoted with an interest in Kelleher. The other clubs mentioned here by TBR Football who say Chelsea are one of 5 clubs interested in signing Liverpool keeper Kelleher. So we've mentioned Chelsea there. I think he's better than Sanchez. I really, really do. Don't know whether that's Irish bias or not, but I truly believe he's better there. So Chelsea could be an option for him, although I'd rather he stayed away from Chelsea, to be honest. Celtic, great club, obviously a great Irish link, but he's probably too good to go up and play in the Scottish Premier League, with all due respect to Celtic. Nottingham Forest, again, Sells has done well there, but if they wanted to bring in a goalkeeper, they're going to look like they're going to have European football, and they certainly look like they're moving in the right direction at the minute as a club, so maybe Forest. Bournemouth is another name that's been mentioned. Again, I think I could see him in Bournemouth, to be fair. Premier League club could probably afford to pay him Premier League wages, so maybe Bournemouth. And the last one mentioned is the one that I think is probably the best fit of all, and that would be Newcastle United, because I think they're going to need to upgrade on Nick Pope. I think Caoimhín Kelleher will be absolutely loved by the Geordie faithful, and I think he'd be playing at a club that he would be guaranteed to be that first team starter and carve out his career, and I think the Geordies would take to him. So if I could move him to a club there, I would go with Newcastle as the option, but I want to know what you guys think about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for the Anfield Agenda news roundup this morning. The Everton preview will be coming out later on this afternoon. I think it'll come out about 4 o'clock, so keep an eye out for that one. And of course, I'll see you tonight for the late night agenda at 8:45. Until then, again, don't forget to drop a like and let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. We'll talk to you soon. Much love.